The way we make purchases in our personal life will directly correspond to the type of behavior we tolerate from prospects and clients.
Hmm.
So if you're somebody who, you've identified, I want to buy a smartwatch, and then you spend 4 hours looking at, this retailer, that retailer, you're looking at all the specs between all the different smartwatches that you can possibly buy. Then you're also opening up a new tab on your computer looking for, which one has the best deal. Are there any coupon codes, promo codes, that sort of thing? Even when you reach it where it's like, oh, you know what? I've spent 4 hours researching the smartwatch. I found a discount and a promo code. This is actually going to be half as much as I thought it was going to be. You know what? I still got to think about it. I'm just going to sleep on this one. What that means is that you're going to tolerate that kind of behavior because you're empathetic towards it. This is
Yeah.
how I buy. This is how people buy. So even if I put in front of my prospect or the client the best possible solution at a price that's reasonable and fair to them that I know they have budget for, if they say, I've got to think about this, or I don't know what the timeline on this might look like, instead of, gently and politely pushing back and challenging that point of view, you're probably more likely to say something like, oh, yep, totally understand. Just let me know whenever you get a chance, or go talk about it internally, and then maybe we can catch up about it in a couple of weeks. I don't think it's your fault. I think we've inherited a lot of these things, right? Either through childhood or through the work environment that we've come from or the lack of support that we've had, but nothing we can't fix, nothing that
Yeah.
we can't change. I think part of the challenge that we're going to work through here, because you talked about the head trash around money and finances and asking for money and too expensive. Oftentimes we intellectually know that, but there's not a full assent to knowing that. We don't
Yeah.
always behave that way, or our impulse is to feel, that's a lot of money. Can we really put that much in front of the client? Related to this is empathy. So your report came out as you are very empathetic, right?
Hmm.
And you asked me before about commitment, commitment to a fault. Can I be committed to a fault? You can be empathetic to a fault. So that is the case. So we want to calibrate the type of empathy we're deploying and when. So there are techniques that we're going to work on through this program. When it comes to the bad empathy, right? Good empathy means you can understand what they're experiencing. You see that there's a need there, maybe even before they realize it materially in their minds. So you're able to kind of see a couple steps ahead of what's happening.
Hmm.
Bad empathy is when you tolerate behavior from your prospect or your client that is unproductive to the buying cycle or the sales cycle. So, what can you do about it? How can you go from an unsupportive buy cycle into a supportive buy cycle? You need to change how you behave in your personal life. The way you buy needs to change. Instead of researching to death or fighting to find the best possible deal, you need to make decisions faster and with less information. If this sounds painful, that's because it is. And trust me, I have gone through this pain and radically changed how I buy things. And this has changed my mindset around asking for money and handling client objections or put offs. Here's an idea for you to consider: spend $150 on something you want to buy. It could be a few new shirts, a luxury pillow, a smartwatch, whatever. Set the budget. Then come up with 2 requirements for the item. I'll use a smartwatch as an example. The criteria will be that it needs to be 1, waterproof, and 2, connect to Android. Then pick 2 different retailers. Let's say Best Buy and Staples. Go to Best Buy and flag down a salesperson. Share your 3 requirements with them: waterproof, connect to Android, and under $150. The first thing that the salesperson recommends that fits all 3 criteria, you buy. If they don't have any that fit, go to the next retailer and don't leave the store without a smartwatch. This will be painful, but when you behave this way, which is both rational and measured, over time you will begin to change the behavior you tolerate from your prospects and clients. What this looks like in practice is that when a prospect acknowledges that your solution meets their requirements, but they still aren't ready to commit yet, you will genuinely be curious about what's stopping them. And this will prompt you to ask the right question, to raise their objection right to the forefront. And from there, you can respond more effectively.